everybody. Nick and Laurel here to talk to you guys about taxes and fees.
Yes.
32 taxes and fees. So all during the month of July, we've been talking about the various taxes and fees that have been increased under Governor Mills and Augusta Democrats over the last 8 years. And it's hard to talk about all of them because there's 32 that we're tracking. We could be missing some, right? Let's be honest.
Absolutely. And we're counting certain things that they've spent money, they've moved money around. Ultimately, it's going to raise your costs because it means that state government has to make up for this somewhere else, whether it's a new fee or it's a new tax or something. It's another way that Augusta raise your costs. And yeah, there's probably more.
And to be clear, I stand on that a fee is a tax by any other name.
100%.
I mean, it's the same as, Augusta Democrats passing the millionaires surcharge.
Right.
That's a tax.
Whatever that means. It's a new income bracket.
It's a new income bracket.
Top tax income bracket.
It's an income tax.
What it is.
Yeah. So we have this tax tracker. You guys can find it at leadmaine.com/tax tracker. You don't have to type that all in. We'll put the link in the comments. But we have these 32 times that we are tracking that Governor Mills and Augusta Democrats have raised your costs. Nick, which one do you think is the worst? Do you have a favorite?
Yeah, a favorite. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. The one that I think is going to hits everybody. It hits everybody who works, which is pretty much everyone. And I think it's something that has kind of flown under the radar. It's the paid family medical leave.
I mean, we've talked about it a lot, but I agree. I think it still has flown under the radar.
It's 1% on everyone's paycheck. It doesn't sound like a lot, but it's been coming out of your paycheck since January of 2025. So it's been in effect for over a year and a half. But they just, you're just able to start to take the benefits. You've been taxed for an extra year. You're now just available to take the benefits. But you have to consider the other side of that equation. You're getting taxed on it, but then you're also putting in this program. That means that workers are going to be out of whatever job they're working for, and their employer's not going to get a lot of notice. The state is now funding this, and it creates this mismatch where workers are out of work. They're not working at the time that they're business has to pick up that slack.
And not only that, okay, so the thing about this one that I think is particularly terrible is the fact that people pay it multiple times over. So, okay, so you pay it out of your paycheck, right? 1% out of your paycheck. Then you also pay it with your property taxes because if local government is covering it for their municipal employees, then you're paying for it in your property taxes, which many municipalities are. They're paying for the full 1%. You are paying for it in your income tax, your regular income taxes, because it is being paid for on behalf of state employees. So that full 1% is being paid for for thousands and thousands of state employees.
And then every business you engage with, that cost is baked into there. You're literally costing every worker.
Yes.
So everything that worker produces through the business down the line is going to be passed on to consumers. So it's not all butterflies and rainbows because you get to take time off and now the state's paying for it. It costs something all the way down the line.
The state
meaning
is
all of
paying
us.
for it. All of us.
But then I think an interesting part, and Owen McCarthy talked about this, is the fact that there are businesses that offer paid leave.
Which is better than anything that the state, meaning Maine taxpayers, can offer.
Right. They're offering it as part of their job. They're using it as a way to attract workers. And so by the state mandating this program at a certain way that probably a lot of businesses didn't encourage or didn't go for in the first place, it's taking that tool out of Maine businesses' toolbox to attract workers.
Right.
And like you said, in a worse program potentially. You're getting a worse deal through the state than you would have if you had a private business that maybe offered this.
Yeah.
I think that was,
Anecdotally, I've heard from people who have taken the paid leave and gone, but I didn't get my whole paycheck. Okay.
That may have been the policy you signed up for.
You don't get your whole paycheck. You get a percentage of your paycheck with this state mandated program where you've paid in 1% of your income for over a year and a half now, and you finally could take advantage of it in May. Bear in mind that only a small percentage of Maine workers can ever take advantage of it, or the program will go completely bankrupt. So
it's left unsaid in the whole debate about it.
You're paying into this system that you and many others are unlikely to be able to ever use because only a certain number of folks can use it. So there's so many bad things about it. I have to agree with you. I think that is definitely like a top 3 on this list. We have some random ones. Like hey, we don't have enough of your money, so like let's tax paint more.
Yeah. Every can of paint is now 75 cents more,
And
or
what,
50 cents
and
more.
what was
something.
it? It was
It was 25 cents, and now
25
it's
cents.
75.
I mean, don't paint your living room.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a way to nickel and dime us at every point, you know, to get down to a can of paint, to ratchet up a tax on that. It's like, what are we really doing? You know, what is the point of government at that point? If we have to try to find all these tiny taxes, we're talking about hunting licenses and concealed carry permits, fishing permits, all this stuff that Mainers are going to use. Yes, tourists are going to use it too, but everybody here is going to use those things, and you're just getting nickeled and dimed by the state. There's no reason for it. There's plenty of money in the system.
Right. I mean, it's not like, you know, they know that, you know, folks who go hunting every year aren't going to stop hunting just because the fee's gone up. They're going to pay it, right? You're going to pay it. So you're over a barrel here with all of these different taxes and fees. And so there is one that really struck me when it was going through the legislature, and that is the $10,000 per lot fee on mobile home lots.
Sure. Yeah.
So can you explain that one a little bit?
Yeah, so it's if you are an investor that goes and purchases a big mobile home park, and there's a certain limit to that, but you are now charged $10,000 per lot.
That's insane.
Per mobile home lot. So you buy a park with 100 lots on it. That's $1 million.
$1 million.
Another $1 million tax that you've paid because you've invested in housing in the state of Maine. You're being punished for it. I thought that we were supposed to spur housing, encourage housing.
Yes.
That's
you know, hear how short we are on housing. We need to encourage growth in housing. We need
and
to
here's
encourage
affordable
more
housing, not affordable housing, but it's affordable.
Affordable housing, yeah, and this is a way to discourage investment in it. Tell investors, like, don't invest in a mobile home park in Maine. Don't provide affordable housing for people. We're going to penalize you for it. You buy 100 units, we're going to charge you $1 million. I mean, it's such a money grab. But on top of that, it is intentioned to keep investors out of Maine.
Right.
That is the goal of it. So don't think that this is accidental. This is very, very intentional. They don't want large investors. They want tax-funded, owner-occupied. This is the big push by Augusta, is giving taxpayer funds to folks who live in a mobile home park to purchase that park, versus investor-owned parks.
Right.
And so this is, once again, government putting their thumb on the scale, saying, we don't want investors. We don't invest in Maine. We don't want that. We're going another way. And so we're going to drive down investment in housing in Maine.
To just distort the market. And how does that fix the goal? How does that serve the goal of producing more housing and providing more affordable, livable housing for people in Maine? It kind of reminds me of the millionaire surtax too, is that, it's not for you little guys, it's for the big whales and the big people who we want to keep out of the state. The people who actually create jobs, unfortunately, is the mindset that this comes from. But it's a way to try to put our thumb on the scale, put the state to distort the market, and try to direct the blame onto the wealthy. Yeah. Which it's misguided. It's not based in economics, because you need investment in this state to move this through. Where you're not going to get investment in housing if the people who own the mobile home parks, you're waiting for them to invest and buy it out. Like, it's a great story. I would love to see that, but you can't just make policy
minus the
about that.
taxpayer funded part of it.
Well, right, of course. So exactly, if you have to now direct other people's money for this outcome, is it really worth taking people's money to do that? We have to ask every time government does something.
I mean, it's just like, well, small scale here, Nick, like, give me your money so I can go buy housing, do a housing investment.
When you have $12 billion every 2 years to do whatever else you want to do.
Yeah, I mean, $12 billion
How much
state budget. Like, no wonder it's ballooning when we're paying for things like people to buy mobile home parks.
Right.
Now, that's not to say that owner-occupied mobile home parks are bad, but they shouldn't be taxpayer funded.
Absolutely. I would love to see people go and buy their own park and set up their own business. It's great.
Absolutely.
The way to do that is to get government out of that, out of the way, reduce those barriers, and not just try to target these barriers to certain investors or whatever. Just get out of the way and have a level playing field. And then you'll see people take those opportunities into their own hands, see what you want.
Absolutely. So you mentioned another one that I think is really, really awful, and people make an excuse for it. or many excuses for it. And I don't want to give too many spoilers for a future Speak Up podcast episode, but the millionaire tax. And the millionaire tax, it strikes me as particularly sneaky. So this is one of these new taxes, a 2% income tax surcharge on incomes over $1 million. And so that brings our top rate of income tax in Maine from 7.15% to 9.15%, and retroactive.
Right.
Retroactive to January 1st, 2026. The thing about this tax is you hear folks go, well, yeah, tax the millionaires. I'm not a millionaire. You're not a millionaire, right? Tax the millionaires. I'm not going to get hit with it. Well, yes, you are. And here's the thing. Like the socialists who advance this aggressive agenda to tax millionaires are like, look at this shiny thing over here. This is the millionaire tax. Don't pay attention to the fact that we got 31 other taxes and fees that we're also increasing to tax the crud out of you people.
That hit you on the things you buy.
Hit you directly,
Exactly.
right? So
right.
like just focus on this millionaire tax over here and let that distract you from the fact that their agenda is to tax everyone for every penny that they possibly can. And they just cover this in this, facade that makes it more acceptable. What are the actual real arguments against this, Nick?
Yeah, I mean, it's the fact that you're trying to squeeze blood from a stone, right? So we're talking about the top 2 or 3% of the earners in Maine. They're putting in close to 20% of the income taxes that the state uses.
Already.
So if the argument is these people aren't paying their fair share, what is the fair share for the top 3% to pay? And I think there's never an answer to that argument. It's just never enough because there's always more to spend and there's always more to tax and there's always more to do. There's always more for government to do. And I think that's the question that we should be posing to these, Democratic Socialists of America or whatever. How much is actually enough to do what you want to get done?
There's never enough.
There's never enough.
That's the answer.
Unfortunately, that's what they're like. They'll bring you around the bush.
More.
But that's what it is. There's never enough. And there's, until we confiscate every rich person's wealth, which will fund the government for all of 60 seconds, it's not enough. And so what are the costs of these things? It hits everybody, just like you said.
The cost of these things is you're going to chase people out of our state. And then those folks who were paying 20% of the income tax are no longer paying that full, 20% of the income tax.
They're the ones who can leave.
Guess who that gets passed down to?
Yeah.
It's not like the government's going to go, oh, I guess we better unfund those things we were paying for with the millionaire tax. No. They go, well, we're going to continue funding those things we were getting money from the millionaire tax for.
Find it somewhere else.
But now we're going to have to pass that tax on down to you because we don't have enough money coming in from those top earners anymore. And so not only have those folks, the percentage of those top earners left, taking their businesses with them, taking their income tax with them. So we've got to make up that gap. And that's the scary thing about this tax is, okay, you're going to start collecting this on this year, 2026. People file their 2026 taxes.
Right.
They're going to get hit.
Right. They headed into this year thinking that they were going to pay the 7 and 7.15, but they're ending the year. They're going to pay 9.15.
And they're going to pay 9.15.
The highest top rate in New England.
Absolutely. And so some folks they're not going to want to stick around for that.
Yeah. I think folks don't realize that every time you put an additional cost in the economy like that, it's going to make its way back to everybody else. You don't just get to decide, I'm only going to tax this person and it's only going to affect this person. We don't understand that this is a huge system. The economy is a massive system that we can't just go and say, we're going to plan this and it's going to work out this way.
Yeah, everything affects everything else. And so the effect of, some of our high wage earners, job providers leaving, less jobs, less income tax coming in, it's going to hit everybody.
I mean, if we make one more point on that, these are the people who can decide to leave and move and change residency whenever they like.
Not the folks who are stuck. I mean, I hear from people all the time, maybe some of you watching, who are like, I would love to leave. Don't leave, please. Let's fix our state instead.
Yes.
I'd like to leave, but I can't afford to. I hear that all the time. Well, guess what?
So sad.
These folks can afford to leave. And many of them already have. They've left for 6 months and a day, and they are here for the summer. Some of those folks would like to be here.
course, I'm sure they would.
More than 5
Maine's
months
beautiful.
and 29 days.
I wouldn't want to spend half the year in Florida. Sounds terrible. I want to
me
spend
neither.
the whole year here. But if you look at Maine and compare to the rest of the New England states, you're getting taxed here more than you would anywhere else. If almost everybody is getting taxed more if you lived here than if you did anywhere else at any income level. Really, I mean, the highest rate for us now the highest rate's 9.15, but that 7.15 rate kicks in so low at such a low income. It's like $50,000 or something. You're paying more in taxes here if you earn up to $100,000 than if you lived in any other New England state. And to me, that's unacceptable.
And that's one of those points. Like the point of look at this bright shiny thing over here, the millionaire tax, and let that distract you from the fact that, as Nick said, if you earn up to $100,000, so if you earn $99,999 or less, which is most of us Mainers, right? Then you pay the highest income tax in all of New England. But the socialist Democrats of America, Socialists of America, they're just socialists, don't want to talk about that. They don't want to talk. They want to talk about taxing the wealthy, taxing the millionaires, but they want to hide the fact that they are also taxing you.
Yes, and that goes back to the rest of these lists of taxes. Go to leadmaine.com/tax tracker. You can see the whole list of them. It's ways that the state government has used its money as a shell game to move stuff around and ultimately make you pay higher costs, whether it's their streaming services, tobacco, all these consumer taxes, licenses, fees, all this stuff. So that's why we put it all on a website.
Check it out. You'll see some random things like, arborist license fee.
Who knew?
Got to increase that.
Yeah, those people who are working with trees, they're not putting in their fair share, to work their profession.
How about this one? Number 24, senior property tax freeze enacted and then repealed within 1 year. So early on when I was in the legislature, there was that senior property tax freeze that was enacted. And then the Democrats were like, whoa, we do not have enough money coming in for our pet projects. This is a real problem.
Right.
We need those seniors' money. And they repealed it. And I specifically say Augusta Democrats because it was in a majority budget. So this was a budget that was passed by the Democrats without Republican buy-in. They repealed this tax break for seniors. My hands were not anywhere near that, neither were other Republicans. And so that blame rests squarely with Governor Mills and Augusta Democrats. Do check it out on the website. You can learn a lot more about what the Democrat majority and Governor Mills have been up to as far as taxes and fees. Those are all taxes, by the way, remember, at leadmaine.com/tax tracker. And thanks for hanging with us this afternoon.